Today, we will be learning about Hardhat, how to use it to deploy, test, and develop smart contracts on the Ethereum blockchain. We will be looking at what Hardhat is, what are its key features, and why it is very popular. Also, we will set up our own development environment to work with Hardhat. We will install Node.js, set up a new project, and configure Hardhat. Hardhat is a development environment for Ethereum that us by providing tools for writing, testing, and deploying smart contracts. It also provides a local Ethereum network, task runner, and plugin system. Let us look at installing Node.js and NPM. To install Node.js and NPM, visit the Node.js org website given and install it. This provides you the necessary tools and dependencies for using Hardhat. Then, to create a new project, open Node.js command prompt and type in the following command to create a new directory and to navigate to it. Then, initialize a new npm project by running the command npm init-y. Then, finally install Hardhat by running the following command. This is how your command prompt will look like after installing Hardhat. To create a new Hardhat project, we first initialize the project by running the command npx hardhat. This opens the Hardhat setup command. Then choose create a basic sample project and then just follow the prompts to create your project. This is how the Hardhat setup command looks like in the command prompt. First, we write smart contracts using Solidity and store them in the contracts directory. Then we compile them using the npx hardhat compile command in the prompt. Then we can check the artifacts, which basically are the compiled outputs of the smart contracts. They are essential for deploying, interacting with, and verifying your smart contracts on Ethereum. Here is a contract you can use as an example. It basically allows you to store a string message and retrieve it. The set message function updates the message, whereas the get message function returns the current message. To deploy smart contracts in Hardhat, you first need to write a deployment script and then run it. It is basically how we launch a web page or application to a server, making it accessible to users. To deploy a script, first we create a scripts directory and we write our deployment script in it. Then we start the Hardhat local network by typing in the command npx hardhat node. This network just consists of your device and can be used to test however many smart contracts as you want and doesn't involve real money. Then deploy the smart contract by typing in the next command. The given script following performs the following steps. It gets the deployer's account, then it logs it, then it retrieves the contract factory for the contract, then it deploys the contract and waits for it to complete, then it logs the address of the deployed contract, then it checks whether the deployment was successful or unsuccessful. Now we'll interact with the smart contract we deployed. It is like how we use a web application after it has been deployed, performing actions and retrieving data. The code first retrieves the deployed data and also the address of the deployed smart contract. It attaches to the deployed contract and sets the message in the contract to hello hardhat, then retrieves the current message from the contract, logs the retrieved message to console, and again checks for successful or unsuccessful interaction. Now let us run tests for the smart contract. We have three steps. We write the test scripts and store them in the test directory. Then we run the tests and then we ensure if the functions work how we want them to. First, in the code we import the expect function from the chai library. Then the describe function groups the related tests. The it function defines an individual test case. It checks whether set message and get message function of the message contract work properly. The next few lines check the deployed contract and verify whether the functions are working properly. The hard hat console can be used to directly interact with the Ethereum blockchain and deployed contracts directly from the command line. It is like using a command prompt to interact with a database or server. Start the console using the given command npx hardhat console network localhost. Then, the script given below can be used for interacting with the contract. Now, we'll deploy to a testnet. A testnet is a blockchain powered by the same software but to be used for testing without risking real funds or the main chain. First, we need to obtain testnet tether. We need to obtain Ether from a faucet, which is basically a website or without risking real funds or the main chain. First, we need to obtain testnet Tether. We need to obtain Ether from a faucet, which is basically a website or a person which who distributes testnet Ether for free. This is like the early release of a software product, where you need to get necessary resources to test it externally. Then we need to configure hard hat. We need to set up the network without risking real funds or the main chain. First, we need to obtain testnet tether. We need to obtain Ether from a faucet, which is basically a website or a person which who distributes testnet Ether for free. This is like the early release of a software product, where you need to get necessary resources to test it externally. Then we need to configure hard hat. We need to set up the network details such as the Infura URL and your MetaMask mnemonic in the hard hat configuration file. With this setup, you can then deploy a smart contract using the given command. This is basically releasing the beta version of your product. So we have learned how Hardhat is a development environment for Ethereum that simplifies the development process. Then we also learned how to create, test and deploy smart contracts in the environment. We also found out how we can deploy to a testnet and how it allows us for further testing and feedback. These are few questions for you to solve.